Okay, so this will serve as the last class period that we'll meet. From here on out, you guys are just working on your final projects. By the time you watch this video that I'm recording now, everybody's midterm project should be graded. All right, if you turn one in, it should be graded, I should say, because there's several that did not. There should be a few more. So if you're watching this while you're seeing this, you should have grades back. It should tell you what to do for the final project. Most of the things I saw in the final projects were the basic stuff, right? So spelling, grammar, punctuation. It's still college. You still have to do that. All right. The other things were making sure your inputs are sanitized. So if you ask for a name, make sure you're using is title to find out that it's in the proper name format. Don't use is alpha, use is title so that it's a capital letter followed by lowercase letters, etc. That was probably the biggest thing that I tend to see over semesters, but definitely this year was people just weren't sanitizing inputs. To sanitize an input, it's super simple. You just put it inside of a while true loop. Inside your while true, ask for the input, do if and elif checks to make sure it's valid input. If it's valid, break out of the loop and continue on. All right. Most of you that did like text adventure style games or something where it was some kind of game, most of you are going to want to do a player object. And so if you watch the videos that were in the last section of OOP and it talks about converting a midterm project to a final project, those are going to be the ones that are most applicable to you. If we look at the final project rubric, and just so there's no confusion, you're going to take your midterm project, all right? A lot of you guys got scores that you're probably not happy with. Remember, you fix all of that for your final project. So you take your midterm project, you fix everything I told you to fix, and then you add these last two pieces. That is your final project. Don't do an entirely separate project, okay? If you do that, I can't give you any points back on the midterm. So just follow the system that's in there. Right? So say you got a 70 on your midterm project, you fix everything in your final project, you're now going to get 15 points back, means now you got an 85 on your midterm. Right? So your grade is not final on your midterm project. For your final project, it has the first 60 points is exactly what you had in the first midterm project. All right. So it needs to execute with no errors. Again, everything I find in there is just 5 points off. So if you had an error that if it full on crashes, then you lose all 20 points. If it's just a little bug or something in there that keeps it from operating correctly, then it's just 5 points, right? For each one of those instances. The functions, that's one that always holds people up. Make sure you actually use functions and use them correctly. Don't just use them for print statements. I won't count that. It needs to actually do something. If you're just going to use it to have one print statement, well, now you're trying 3 lines of code to print 1 line of code that could have been in the system. You actually added more lines of code. That's not the purpose of a function. Make sure you're using some kind of list or dictionary. On the documentation side, that's also a place that some people lost points. Make sure you have your initial comments at the top. Immediately below that should be a block comment of what your project is. All right. Once you get that done, then make sure you have some comments throughout your project. That gets you your documentation piece. It's really easy to get those points. Speaking of easy points, the next 20 points there is the use of the logging module. All you have to do is watch the debug video. I say this every semester and people don't watch the video and they lose out on 20 points. You just watch the video. It tells you exactly what to copy and paste into your project. It tells you exactly how to move your functions off to a second file and import them in. Like, you watch it, you're guaranteed 20 points. All right. I know my voice is boring. Set it at 2x. Not going to offend me. All right. Get your points at least. The last 20 points are probably the quote hardest of all of them. And that's making sure that you've converted your project to OOP in some form or fashion. All right. Object-oriented programming. This is where you're either going to create your own classes. So for a lot of you that, again, did player games or something like that, you create a player object. And inside that player object is where you gather the user's name. Maybe you store their inventory, their score, whatever you're doing, but you're just removing all of your functions into that class because it now deals with that class, right? The alternative is you can use a third-party module that you must pip install. So it needs to be something that you have to pip install, not something that's built into Python itself. So you can do either one of those two to make that work. An example there, some of you guys did like Hangman, for example, right? And you need a word for that. Instead of you creating a list of words, use the random word module in order to randomly grab a word from the internet and use that in your Hangman game. Okay. Now you're using a third-party module.
Okay, so that would be the third-party module, and something that just makes it awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing like a Hangman one, it would, or something similar, you could use the random word module. And if you just Google that, it'll tell you how to bring it into your project and how to edit it. The point is if you use those third-party modules, you have to learn how to read the class just like you would if you wrote one. That's why I count A or B on that side. In real world, most Python, you don't write your own classes, you use somebody else's code. That's how you normally do it. But you have to read the manual to figure out how to use their code. So, all right. Anybody in here have any questions on OOP? Or if you look at your midterm project, did you get feedback that you didn't understand? Okay. All right. That covers the rubric. Now, the next part is scheduling. For this class, you have to schedule a 30-minute meeting in the next 2 weeks in order to go over your final project. And during that final project, that's also when I grade the last 2 homework assignments. So I'll put this in the announcement, but I don't grade project 3 and 4, the homework, until we're in the review session or the schedule session. The reason for that is again, those are the 2 assignments people cheat on the most. So it gives you a chance to explain why. If I just grade them and you cheated, or it looks like you cheated, then you just get a 0. There's no chance for you to explain yourself. That's the reason I do them in the interview one. Okay. And hopefully nobody did that this semester. Hopefully. All right. Scheduling the 30-minute meeting. You need to send me an email with this subject heading right here. All right. It has to be that very specifically, because I have a filter set up in my email to kick this off to the side so I don't miss them. So if you put any other character in there, it does not go through. It ends up getting sent to my main email. I could pull up my main email, but there's 14,000 missed emails right now. Okay. I'm trying. So please use the subject line so I don't miss your filtered email coming in. Just copy and paste this in the subject. Nothing else, just this. All right. Inside of there, and that's just another note. Like I have over 65 this semester of people trying to schedule. So if you don't do it, it gets kicked to the bottom and then you miss your spot. Email me 3 dates and times based on the hour and half hour. In other words, don't send me 3:15. Don't send me 3:45. Send me 3 o'clock or 3:30, right? Or the other times in between. Don't ask me when I'm available. Don't just say whenever I'm available. I won't respond. All right. I know it sounds rough. I'm trying to schedule 75 of these people going through here. So just follow the simple rules in there. It makes it go super fast. Send me 3 dates and times. That can be on 3 separate days, or you can send me 3 times on the same day if you want to. If I can't do anything that day, I will email you back and say, here's the times that I do have available. We'll get it. Once we lock in a date and time, I will send you a Zoom link. Your meeting is not officially scheduled until you have that Zoom link. All right. This method, if everybody does this, it works really, really smooth. It's when people say, oh, I'm available all the time. Okay, don't send me that. Send me 3 days and time so I can put your name in the system. All right. I am Central Time, so make sure your times are Central Time. That's mostly for the online students, but campus is Central Time, so all times are Central Time. Everything's done over Zoom unless you guys here on campus want to physically meet with me. All right. Either one's, and just put that for you guys that are here in the class in your proposal. Just say, I would like to meet, it face-to-face versus online. All right. I'll still send you a Zoom link, even if we're meeting face-to-face. And that's just to make sure it goes on my calendar so I don't overwrite the spot. All right. Meetings are 30 minutes max. In that 30 minutes, what I'm going to do is take your project. We're going to go down through each one of those points and I'm going to grade it live. If there's something broken in your project and I can fix it in 30 minutes, you get those points. All right. So don't leave off a whole chunk of your project. For example, OOP. Give it your best effort. If you can't figure it out or what you're going to do, give it your best effort. Because if you give it your best effort, I will help you fix it. Then you'll get your 20 points. But if you don't even try it, now we're going to waste too much time on that one section and you won't get all the other points in there. All right. Also, during that 30 minutes, we're going to go back through homework assignment 3 and 4. We'll get you a grade on that. When you're done at the end of the 30 minutes, you should have your final grade for the semester. You're done. Nothing else. So, for example, the dates begin tomorrow at 8:30 and will run till May 5th at 8 o'clock p.m. Okay. Anytime between there, I'm available. That includes the Saturday and Sunday. I try to reserve the after hours, aka after 5 o'clock, for those that are online. But if you absolutely can't make it because you got classes, sports, etc., I get that. Just send me one of those spots. Okay. Time wise, I try to go from 8:30 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. If it absolutely has to be later than 8 o'clock at night, let me know. I'll work with people's schedules. That's a lot of hours to schedule on. Okay. Again, Central Time only. Don't send me other time zones, that kind of stuff. It's just going to make us all confused. There's no reason for it. Please only use the weekends if you can't meet sometime during the evening. All right. I have a family too, but I'm more than happy to assist everybody. But I don't want to miss my kid's soccer game because you chose to do it on a Saturday at 1 when you could have done it during the week. All right. I have to confirm that appointment time, then I'll add it to the calendar and I'll send you a Zoom link. All right. Super simple. You can be on video or not on video. I don't care about that part, but you do need to be at a computer because I'm going to be sharing my screen. So don't hop on your iPad or your phone into the Zoom session because there's no way you're going to be able to see my screen when we're zooming into your code. It's going to be too tiny. Never works. Please be at a computer. Do not submit your final project until 30 minutes before your meeting. All right. Don't submit your project till 30 minutes before the meeting. So in the submission down here, it says the due date is listed as April 28th. Do not submit your project until 30 minutes before. I only did that so that people know they should have had their stuff scheduled by the 28th. All right. That means if you need more time, don't schedule yourself until the second week, but also don't schedule yourself to the very end of that time because now you're going to have problems there too. Please don't submit your project till 30 minutes before. The reason I do that is somebody will submit something and say, oops, I messed something up. Can I resubmit? That's not a huge deal until 30 people do it. And then I'm spending all my time resetting projects. So please just submit it 30 minutes before you do it. Again, once the meeting's over, you're done for the semester. So it's to your advantage for those of you that maybe got 100 on the final project. You look at your midterm project or your feedback and it says add logging and do this for OOP. You do that by tomorrow. Schedule with me tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. You're done for the rest of the semester. Right? Yeah, it sounds great. You don't have to worry about it for the rest of the semester. Take advantage of that. Do not wait till Sunday at 5 p.m. May 5th to turn in your project. The sooner it's done, the more you can focus on your other classes. Anybody have any questions on that part? All right. Hopefully everybody will get that. I'll post the view out there. I don't think I have anything else. If I'm missing any other grades, oh, that's the other thing. If you haven't turned in any homework or anything, you have until your meeting schedule to get it turned in. All right. So say you forgot about the midterm quiz or one of the quizzes or something else and you just haven't got to it yet. As long as it's turned in before your meeting, I will grade it during the meeting and you'll get your score. After your meeting, I won't accept any late work. Why? Because I already closed you out. You got your grade, you're done. All right. Thanks again for a good semester, and we'll see you again in the future. Let's see here. Check came in. Don't see the notes. I'll have to look at yours, Bo. I may not have gotten to yours yet if you're in B. Are you in VB section? Yep. There's 10 people left in the VB section I haven't graded yet. That's going to be done here right after this class. That's why I said by the time this video is posted, you'll actually have everybody's feedback.
Okay. Hey, I got another question for you.
Okay.
Actually two.
Okay. Hold that for just a second and I'll finish up the recording. Let's see. The last recording, there was something else I was going to add in there. Lost it. That's all right. I'll put it in the announcement going out.